No matter what, I have to show up. I am reliable. I can rely on myself. Starting today until the next 6 months, I want you to repeat that to yourself every day. I want you to live that every day. I want you to show up for the thing that you have been wanting to show up for, but have maybe been inconsistent or um, maybe haven't even started because of fear, doubt, lack of confidence, circumstances, excuses, whatever it is. I need you to ball that up, throw it in the trash, and decide that today, starting today, or whenever you watch this video, because you may not watch it on April 27th exactly, but whatever day this video decided to get sent to you, know that it was meant to be sent to you, because now it's time to cut the excuses, to throw away whatever in the past of the reasons that you couldn't show up for yourself, that you weren't being reliable to yourself, that you kept telling yourself, I'm going to do this, and then continued to disappoint yourself and maybe even others around you. That's over. It's over. Decide to make a choice, because we all have choices in life. Decide to make the choice to stop doing that. Stop being an inconsistent, unreliable person to yourself. Stop telling yourself you're going to do something and then don't do it. Yes, it's terrible to be unreliable to other people. It's terrible to be someone that others can't depend on. But you know what's even worse? When yourself can't even depend on you. So, I want you to repeat this every day, every morning, if you have to, multiple times throughout the day, if you have to remind yourself that no matter what, I have to show up. I am reliable. I can rely on myself. Okay. All right. So today is a new moon in Taurus. New moons represents new beginnings, new chapters, new cycles in a certain area in our lives. It's going to be different for everyone. Maybe one person is starting a new cycle around like taking care of their health and deciding to, eat healthy. Maybe deciding to cook their foods instead of like going out to eat. One person may be going through a new cycle, but then their relationship, they're realizing that a habit that they've had in a relationship has been detrimental to the relationship, and maybe they're deciding to like change that. Or maybe you're deciding, there's another person that's deciding to like cut off a unhealthy relationship that they have been a part of. Um, but this new moon is in the sign of Taurus, and whatever sign that the moon is in will color the vibe, will help us know what themes we're going to be experiencing related to something new happening. So because Taurus is an earth sign, and it's mainly about um it represents values, but also security, stability, especially when relating to financial. Um so for a lot of us, um I mean, I broke this down in the last video, but you're either on you're either navigating through two things. You're either starting two things in your life, but I feel like the overall theme is security, stability, comfort, pleasure, values, and committing to something until you committing to something in the long run. So yeah, like committing to something, I guess you would say. Committing to something, seeing it through, seeing the thing through, staying committed, showing up every day for that something until it manifests into the thing that you've want it to. Um so yeah, that's just a little description of that. And new moons are the start of a 6-month long cycle. So 6 months from now, whatever the date is, 6 months from now, we are going to be it's going to be a full moon in Taurus. And that will be the time where we are now celebrating anything that we accomplish within this 6 months related to the Taurus themes in our life, which represents, like I said, security, something around security, something around stability, something around financial security, something around like having more like comfort and pleasures in our lives, enjoying the pleasurable parts of life, which could just be simply having a routine, setting a routine for yourself that makes your life a little bit more enjoyable, even if you still have to do the adulting stuff. But instead of just going to work, doing the same thing, and coming home and I don't know, just being miserable, pretty much just doing the regular routine, and you don't have any joy, there's no pleasure in your life, you feel like something's missing. Um Maybe the thing that you feel that is missing, you decide today to commit to figuring out how can you intertwine that into your life, and starting with something simple that you can do, the first step of something. um so yeah, anyways, sorry, I'm getting like very congested again. um So yeah, that's just a little bit of that, but just know the point is I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm going to be doing that tonight. Tonight I'm hosting a virtual new moon women's circle where we're going to really talk about this new moon in Taurus energy into full depth. And then I'm going to talk to you guys, and I'm going to, whoever shows up, I'm going to pull up their charts, astrology, pull up their astrology charts and see exactly in their lives where this new moon in Taurus is going to play out. Because, like I said earlier, this new moon, we're experiencing a new feeling, a new cycle, a new something in a specific part of our lives. Um, So everybody's gonna be different. It's gonna show up different. Like for me, I know where my new moon in Taurus is gonna be around. Should I share that right now? Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. But yes, I have to share that. That's sort of thing. Okay. I have to battle with like the like I don't know. There's a part of me that likes to like. Anyways, okay. Okay. Mars and Leo. Put yourself out there. Okay. The way that I talk to myself as an astrologer, I'm like, okay, you're an Aquarius girl. Put yourself out. Mars is in Leo, just represents like putting yourself out there. Okay, so girl, um, get out of your 12th house, which is where your Aquarius sun wants you to be, and like be okay with putting yourself out there. Because I'm doing it to help. So for me, this Taurus, moon in Taurus, new moon in Taurus is happening in my third house, which represents communication. Let's just say there's other things, okay? There's communication, there's my day-to-day life. So my daily life, what do I do on a day-to-day basis? Who do I communicate with? So it could be communication, daily life. It could be who I see on the regular, like neighbors or extended family outside of my mom and dad. So it's like relatives, cousins, um, yeah, like stuff like that. I'm pretty sure, yeah, siblings as well. And travel, short distance travel too. So for me, I'm experiencing a new beginning around those themes. And that's going to play out for the next 6 months for me, where I'm, yeah, it's going to start the cycle of that. So there's going to be something new, experience that I'm going to be navigating through. There's a new start today for that. And that's going to play out depending on how I work with it or whatever. So anyways, there's just a new cycle in that. So if I think about it, okay, how does that apply to me? Well, I have been really wanting to do this virtual women circles. I've been really, really, really wanting to do that. And okay, I had to do the gross thing. Hopefully, you guys couldn't hear it, but I'm like getting super congested right now. And I don't want to get up because if I get up, I'm going to have to start my day. So, why is this happening? Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to be starting a new cycle around that. Which so anyways, it makes sense that the fact that because that's another thing. You can ask yourself, you can kind of get a sense of like ask yourself what has been like on your heart or what have you been like thinking about or like emotionally tied to like emotionally what have you been feeling called to do, to focus more on, to commit to show up for and be more reliant, like start to like immerse yourself in. What do you want to start to add more to your routines? Um and that kind of thing. So what have you been feeling emotionally called to start to begin? Um this is so if you kind of think about it, within the past couple of days, especially this week, and then even a little bit, because the new moon energy, you can feel it a couple days before, you can feel it a couple days after. But I would just say for this week up until the beginning of next week, pay attention to what your feelings are telling you as far as like what new thing do you want to like start now? What are your feelings like? Have you been feeling like you really want to have more financial security? Um, or even like security in other areas, um like maybe yeah, like or maybe you want to pay more attention to like implementing your values, living a life full of like that represents your values or like or even like treating yourself to the things that you value. So maybe you really value like you love clothes. You love to buy clothes, and so therefore you decide to like treat yourself more. Maybe instead of holding on, maybe you have been doing well with your finances and you know that you can, or maybe not, or whatever the case is, but maybe you've been holding on to your finances um because in fear of like, oh my gosh, I can't spend it. But then you're not happy because you're holding on, like, even though yes, like we're all trying to like get to where we want to be financially on some sort, maybe perhaps we are different with the finances, but at the end of the day, we come up with the money, or we not come up with the money, but we like, how do I describe it? The point is, people will pay, you will pay for what you know. Like, how do I describe it? um if it's valuable to you, you will make the time for it, if that makes sense. So for instance, for me, if I have this example, like for me, like I love clothes, but there's a weird feeling of like, because I haven't been able, like, I don't know, I find myself telling myself, oh, just wait until you reach your financial goal. Wait till you get your finances in a perfect standing. Even though I've been working on like my like money management and all of stuff like that, and like I have had improvements, and like I have been doing better when it comes to like financially and how I manage my money and all this stuff like that, way better than I have been over the past couple of years. But still, I don't buy anything for myself. Like I barely, like I haven't bought any new clothes for myself. Like I haven't, I've been telling myself I want to go to yoga class. Like I really love going to classes, and I really want to start putting myself out there and doing that again. And I used to do it at some point, like last year. I was like going to a yoga class like once a week. And then I would go to a dance class every now and then. I used to go to like Zumba and just different dance classes. And I realized I don't do that for myself. And I'm just caught up in the cycle. Like, I mean, I thankfully, like, I for my job I do what I love, so, but outside of my work, where am I experiencing like pleasure? Like, where am I enjoying the fruits of my labor, quote unquote? And I don't like that necessarily, but like, where am I treating myself? There it is. How am I treating myself? um and I don't really. I'm so like caught up in like, oh my gosh, now that I am doing I am making progress financially, I don't want to ruin it. So I'm like holding on to it tight, but then it's like, then I'm like, but it will be so nice to like, buy myself a couple, of new outfits, or it'll be so nice to go back to yoga class. And it's like, I know also how money works, and like money is energy. So it's like you are actually not supposed to like just hold on to your money. Your money is supposed to be in flow. And so I know all these things, but when you have come from a place where like finances hasn't been like a stable thing, like even when it comes to like childhood, you when you finally start to make some progress, you just fear of like screwing it up again. So, anyways, this wasn't supposed to be a whole long rant about about all of these things, but I hope this is like telling somebody, giving you permission to like treat yourself. Maybe for the next 6 months, this is the start for you treating yourself, and like the things that you value. If it's clothes, if it's experiences, if it's like you wanting to, be around like groups and like-minded people. Like for me, like I do my women's circles, but I also want to be the person, like I like to experience them as well. And that's something I've been telling myself. Like I'm a hostess, I do host women's circles. I love it. But I also would love to be on the opposite end sometimes and just be the one that's like just participating, the participant. because like being a host is like that comes with a certain level of certain things. So I said I want to start experiencing like more like going to other women's circles, or going to like different events, and so these are the things that I'm just like, okay. And so if I'm as I'm talking about these things, right? So I'm hosting, so already those are like multiple themes you're kind of seeing in my life personally. For one, I'm going to start hosting virtual women's circles, and I want to host virtual women's circles because I want to give I value uh I want to provide a space for like-minded people who share similar values, to come together and be able to like talk about communicate. That's why I like women's circles, a place for women to express themselves, to share their ideas, to help each other on their journeys. And I like to combine the astrology and the spiritual wellness aspect of it, as like, especially astrology, and utilizing that as a tool to just affirm the thing that we all, know inside of us. But sometimes it's good to like, I love astrology because it provides more context, more details, or it contextualizes the feeling that we've already had, because sometimes feelings are hard to like, or maybe sometimes, once again, if you're not connected to your intuition, you may not trust that feeling. Or you may just be like, oh, I'm not sure. You may be like unsure. So astrology, and like even like getting intuitive guidance like through someone else that doesn't know anything about you, and they're using cards to tap into like your like you to help, in my opinion, like I view it as like, okay, God is presenting a person or spirit, universe, whatever you call your higher power, is utilizing. It's like, okay, maybe the person's not understanding me when I'm like putting this on their hearts. So give, let me like direct them and show them in like a physical thing. And that's where cards come in. Um, and so anyways, and so like, especially, I don't know, that's why, we can give ourselves readings, but sometimes like even for me, like yesterday when I went to the psychic fair, and I was a reader there, but then there was a lady who was like, sometimes we all come, people come to their, if we're in between sessions, sometimes some readers will come and like talk to the others. And then there's a lady that came and talked to me, and then we talked, and then I ended up giving her a reading, and then she was like, oh, well, you gave me a reading, I'll give you a reading. So then I got a reading from her. And for me, I don't get readings from people often. And I forget like how valuable it is, because it's affirming for me too, even though I already like, I'm already guided, and I know it's so nice to hear like someone say the same things that you've been feeling in your heart, to be like, yeah, or maybe they'll provide, or maybe the way that they say it will spark something different. You're like, oh, I never even thought of it like that. Or, there's just, or sometimes the people can relate the same things that in different languages, that just makes something click more, or just like, once again, affirms it. So then you're like, okay, like, let me stop doubting myself, let me da da da. Okay, I don't know, there's just so many amazing things that comes when you have a group of people, especially like-minded people, and you all bringing your different energies. So I like that aspect, and that makes sense because look, I'm having a new moon that's starting in my house of communications. So communicating. So, and like, so that, so that makes sense of me hosting a women. I'm decided to host virtual women circles that will be all about, the base of it is about communicating connections, and talk and sharing, like talking about our values, and like that kind of thing. All right. And it's Taurus. So we're going to be like, actually, also, I'm hosting a new moon. I mean, that's pretty spot on. Okay. I mean, not that that was like, honestly, it wasn't really a coincidence, because I actually, before I even really knew about the new moon circle, the new moon today, I had first scheduled this for the 26th, And then I think I was looking at the astrology or looking, yeah, I was looking at the astrology or the astrology for this month. And I saw that actually on the 27th, the new moon is going to be in Taurus. So then that's when I switched it. So that was intentional. But even though still it was already, without even knowing that the new moon was today, had my mindset on I want to commit and just do it on this day, the 26th. Um and so anyways, but that still aligns with the new moon energy because that's the day before. So that would have already been like perfect timing. So anyways, the point is yeah, I'm like overly talking right now. I decided to turn on the camera initially because I was like, "Oh, I'm about to it is morning time. Actually, at this point, what time is it? Okay, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I do know. It's 11:43 a.m. right now. And I woke up, I slept in today. I decided to not work the fair today because usually the fair is a 2-day weekend thing. But today, since I'm having my virtual women's circle event tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time on so yeah, healthygirlhealing.com if you want to sign up. And also, by the way, when I like promote myself, I'm trying to get comfortable with promoting myself because I've said time and time again that even though I'm a social media marketer and I like do this for an actual business, there's something about like I'm okay for helping others and doing it for others, but for some reason when it comes to like me marketing myself, I there's an uncomfortableness about it, but I've realized it's because I'm navigating through a self value, self worth blockage because I have to have the confidence to know that I'm like what I'm worth I'm worth people, yeah, like I'm worth people showing up for. And it's like I do know that because I mean I definitely know that in person because I do my women's circles. I do a lot of in-person events. So I don't know. There's a like, oh, I have a confidence in that. Like if it's in person, I have a confidence in that. But for some reason with virtual, well, I think I know. I keep saying for some reason, but it's like because I haven't been fully myself online yet. Like I haven't meaning it's not that I've been fake, but I've been definitely holding back. And so I feel like people don't have a full version of like what I actually can do and like how actually I'm great at what I do because I've been holding back. So it's like almost like trying to convince people like, hey guys, like I actually am an amazing fucking astrologer and like women's circle host, and this is literally like something that I've been trained and working on for the past couple of years, so I know my shit. Okay, but because I don't because I haven't been putting out as much astrology content and really been like claiming it, then I feel like people's perception of me is like, I don't know about this. Like, it's like she's talking about what she's doing, and I see it, but is she really? Does she even really know what she's talking about? Or because I'm not like I'm definitely holding back, and it's like I don't commit to really talking about the astrology and whatever. I'm trying to do it more, but that's because it's not because I'm not confident in it myself. It's because I have this thought in the back of my head of like still like an old version of myself, and like thinking of it as my old audience of like me trying to convince a bunch of people like, hey guys, that this stuff is actually real, where it's like I'm not trying to do that anymore. I'm not here to convince. I'm here to talk to the people who already are interested in this, and they they are drawn to me because of the way that I explain it or how I explain, and all that stuff, or how I do it. So, or how, they're drawn to me as an astrologer because of the way that I relay it and talk about, and like a spiritual woman and blah blah blah. So I need to remind myself every day that I'm talking to those people. I'm no longer trying to be the dress that I used to be, which wasn't good. And I didn't realize that what I was trying to do, or how that was problematic, or that was the reason why I wasn't getting good results, I guess, is because I was trying to convince people. Because truly, when something is good, and maybe it's just good for me, and not everybody will need to align to that. And that's another thing. But sometimes, especially, I don't know if you people have experienced that on their spiritual journeys, or even really understanding real astrology. Because a lot of people don't understand real astrology. That when you start to see it, of course, like, as a person who wants to help people, who naturally loves helping people, if you figure out like a more like other ways that could actually really help people, dive deeper into helping them and blah blah blah, of course you're going to want to share it with everybody, and you want to help people because you're like, guys, if you just did this, like, it's almost how I think of like people who are who are religious, especially, like, and I will talk about Christians because I used to be that, and like I have a lot of experience with that, and I was just like, it's almost the same way when you're like a Christian and you want to spread the word of like Jesus and God and stuff like that, and you just want people to, because it's helped you so much in your life, all you want to do is like share it and be like, guys, if you could just follow that, your life would be changed, right? But I've realized through my journey that turns people off. You actually, when you're in the convincing, you're trying to convince people, it actually does the opposite effect. Because one, nobody wants to have things that they don't believe in forced down their throats. The people needs to already, like, it's almost like how you tell, how the saying is like, you can't try to change a person. The person has to want to change on themselves. So if a person has not felt and called to actually like drawn to that way of self-care, of self-growth, because there's different forms. Yes, you can do it. You can grow, evolve, change, all this stuff with religion. You can grow, evolve and change and learn the life lessons through spirituality. You could do it through other things, holistic, whatever. Not everybody is different. Everybody's going to be drawn to different things. The goal, there is no right or wrong way. It's like whatever way that you're drawn to that helps you to fulfill the purpose you've meant to in this lifetime is the right way. So instead of me trying to like force everybody to do to learn, heal, grow, evolve, live their purpose through what helps me, instead of trying to force that, I need to just talk to the people who are naturally drawn to like this way, because my way is not the right way. It's just a way that connects to me. So I have had to learn that, because even like through like my partner, my boyfriend, which I'm sure he doesn't not gonna mind, but I've had to learn that with him because he's not um super into astrology. He'll listen to me rant about it. But and he also, he's on his own journey he has his own views around spirituality and all the things, okay? So I have had to learn, because when I first started to learn, was on my journey of my own like spirituality, and like I feel like anybody who knows who had the spiritual awakening, like you literally just want to, I don't know, for me at least, I just want to share this with everybody, especially, and then also with the astrology. And obviously, like, my boyfriend got all of that, so I would just like dump it on him, and it was like I remember at some point he was telling me like, because I'm not gonna talk about it, but the point is, it was so forceful. it was like I was trying to force it for him to be like, no, but it'll help you, da da da. And it created some friction of like almost to the point where he didn't even like to hear that, because it was like so like you're not sharing your experience, you're trying to convince me. And like there are some people who are put off by that. I mean, it's a reason why a lot of people don't like religion, or certain religions, because of people, like some people, like of the need to force things down people's throats, and people do not like that. People, once again, it should be, you should be living your experience, and having so much light and love and good energy and like so many great things happening from you, that you draw people to that if that's what they decide to do. It should be a, oh wow, I've seen like this girl or Jess like really evolving on her journey, and I've seen how it play out. Like, actually, wow, I want to see what she's doing more. Or maybe not. Some people may, and people may not. And they're still like, no, that's not for me. And I'm not saying that's going to be everybody, but that's how it should be. The point is, like, I have just learned that I'm no longer in the convincing game. That's it. Because it's not good and it's not fair. And I wouldn't want somebody else to try to like convince me or force something down my throat that I'm not interested in. Just because it helps the other person doesn't mean that it's meant for me. If I'm not naturally drawn to it, I know myself, I know my heart, and I know that God will put things on my mind, on my heart, of like what is aligned with me. So, and we're all different. So the hello guy, like that's the thing. It's like, just because something works for me doesn't mean it's gonna work for, you know, other people, because that's the beauty of life. We're all different, you know? And so I've had to learn that. So me learning that, even in my like dynamic in my own relationship, of like, okay, just like you're being the same people that you didn't like. Like for me, that's another reason why I've always been put off by some parts of some certain Christians, because I feel like a lot of it is like people forcing stuff down your throat, and it's almost like, if this is so good for you, why do you have to force people to believe this? Shouldn't you just, your actions speak for itself? Like, shouldn't, like, I don't, that, it raises a suspicion for me, because it's like, that's weird if somebody's really trying to force you, instead of you just, the person living their life, and then just setting the example of what it looks like to live your truth and have faith, whatever the case may be. So I realized I became exact type of person that I don't even necessarily like vibe with, like, with my own thing. And then it's like unconsciously, not that I'm really meaning to do it, but I maybe at some point was doing it here, because I was really, instead of just sharing what I love and talking about what I love, and then naturally whoever's attracted to that is going to come, I was literally trying, like, I didn't realize I was trying to do it, but after reflecting on it, it was like, wow, like that's where you think of like the motive behind it. What was your motive? Like, are you trying to convince these, your old audience that, hey guys, like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. That's why it wasn't fun for me, because it was like, but I have to show these people that this is real. And it's like, no, just share it because you want to share it, and you know that God's put it in your heart to share it, so it can attract the people that is meant to hear that. So anyways, I'm losing steam now because I need to eat. I know I'm always saying this, okay, guys. It's just because I have a problem, and I think it's the Capricorn parts of me that, like, I'm trying to learn how to, like, take care of myself before I get on camera or, like, talk. But I really felt this in my heart. Like, I sat down to do my spiritual practice, my morning spiritual practice. And then as I started to sit down, I started to was like, oh, well, maybe I should show them, like, a before, like do a little like, okay guys, I'm sitting down, I'm talking, I'm about to do my spiritual practice, and then I'm going to actually like work with this new moon energy. I'm going to set my intentions. I'm going to, I have my journal. And so like that was my intention, right? Like I have my journal. I wanted to show you guys what it really looks like for me to be like, a practitioner of my word, like what I do actually. Like I actually do work through with the energy and what does it look like with the new moon, blah blah blah. And then as I sat down and I thought of that, and I was like, okay, I turned on my camera, my video thing. And then I was like, oh, I don't know why. I was like, you know what? I really want to start using my like my actual microphone for this, because I don't know, like, well, I know. I like saw somebody because I like the like cuz I filmed this on my laptop, and I love the like laptop look of it. Like I love how it looks like, I don't know. I like the laptop look, okay? It just feels like more casual, more intimate, like I'm on video chat or something. But then I was like, I don't know, like I've been feeling another thing is like I have like microphones, and I have all of these things, right? And I've like used them. If you guys look at my videos, some videos I use the mic, some videos I don't. And I don't know, I just felt like, maybe for me I want to make this more official. And I don't know, I just felt drawn to to get the mic, okay? And then yeah, anyways, and then I started rambling, and now we're here. So that's that. This is a new moon in Taurus. Me talking, communicating, sharing, opening up, third house. I mean, hello guys. And this is me, and that was another thing. I don't know if I said this to you, but I want to get more comfortable with just sharing. Not convincing, just sharing. And then attracting those who align with what I have to say and how I live my life and my values. I want to attract people who share similar values as me. Um and also, like I said, I want to do like in my virtual women's circles, I'm going to do twice a month. Um yeah, I think I'm going to do them twice a month. Yeah, I think I'm going to do them twice a month. I think I'm going to do them on the new moons and the full moons. And yeah, so in order for me, so once again, because I have this like needing to like have developed my confidence on virtual online, because apparently, like I said, I'm so good at it in person, but there's still, I guess, the value, the self-worth, or maybe the confidence in like getting used to like not holding back and just letting it all loose, being the astrologer woman, the intuitive astrologer that I am. And so yeah, and so lastly, I guess, oh my gosh, why am I doing this to myself? I think I'm gonna stop there. I'm telling you, I feel like this Mercury and Aries. It's like really like wanting to keep going, but this Taurus is like, okay, I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna go feed myself, and if I have something more to say, I'll come back on camera. But I think this is, yeah. I need to go take care of myself. Okay.